Gladiators, go. Yay! Right, so welcome back to the Business Hustle. I'm Chris.
I'm Henry.
And we are on location here in Belfast, and we've got Alex in the room who's going
Yes.
to cue us up on some little questions. So, Alex, fire the first question.
Yes,
out.
boys. So, we've got a question for you: is why most business owners waste money on video marketing and how to fix it?
Henry.
In my opinion, they don't understand their audience, Chris. And it's, you hear me talking about hooks and bait, and, different fishermen have different things for different fish. I think they don't understand their audience, my friend.
Yeah, and then even like right down to people spending cash, that they throw money at maybe one piece of creative and hope that it's going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
And with us, every time we create content, we're thinking about, do we have 5 to 10 to 20 pieces of content that we can split test and run? And if you're not using that creatively, you're going to end up feeling the pinch of it because you're going through loads of cash at it. And I'm actually just thinking about a client that we took their ad set over there and have spent maybe 40K in ads and used one piece of creative and just hoped this is going to work, this is going to stick. And for me, you have to think about where you're spending your cash.
No doubt. My wife does not like flowers. She does not like jewelry. So I don't buy flowers or jewelry. You have to know your audience.
Yeah.
And you have to, as Gary Chapman says, love language. What is your love language?
Number 2, then, the 3-second rule: how to make content that actually gets watched. And the hook is, if they don't stop scrolling in 3 seconds, it's game over.
Yeah, so for me, whenever you're making content, one of the best things that you can think of is the first 3 seconds. If they do not hook people, you're probably going to have them scroll on past. So there's no point putting a drone shot in. There's no point putting in a sweeping shot of your team or your lovely building. You have to get right into the meat. So hook people. One of my biggest kind of tips to do a good hook is to use the special word "you." The minute you say "you are" or "you are missing" or "you're doing this" or "you're doing that,"
Or you're not.
people go, "Oh, he's talking to me." So having the word "you" is the most powerful word, I think, on any hook.
Very good. Here's one for you: what's the real ROI of branding? Here's how to measure it. Most agencies can't tell you how to measure brand success, but we can.
I think you should answer that one.
Right, okay, so we have seen a load of budgets spent over the last 30 years we've been working together, and we've seen people spend little and get a lot from it, and people spend a lot and get a little from it. And the big thing that I notice with a lot of agencies is that they want to create content for you and tell you that everything, it's going really, really well, everything's looking good, but it's the numbers, and we're massive in the numbers, Henry, and into the metrics. So why do we care about metrics so much?
The numbers don't lie. We always talk about, likes don't pay the bills, and you have to measure that which cannot be measured, cannot be changed. And I think you said it earlier on, if you're not split testing, you're not looking at what's working, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And if you put your head under and just create content for content's sake, the reality is you're just throwing money down a hole.
Yeah, so think creatively, think strategically, measure twice, cut once with it.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
very good. There's one here, very interesting. It's probably one people don't really think about: behind the scenes. So what makes our best performing video ads work? And then there's the example is this one ad drove £100,000 in leads. Let me show you why.
Yeah, so we do a load of content, and we've got a video team that go out all the time making content. And some of the stuff that we have done has stuck to people, and other stuff has fallen away. And it's pretty much down to you need to split test and test what hooks people, what drives value, and what's got a good call to action. And if you don't have those 3 elements in any video or any creative that you're doing, you're going to miss. And for me, it's making sure that you have those 3 elements in every single piece of creative that you do. So you have to hook well, you have to capture attention, stop the scroll, you have to deliver value or entertainment, and then you have to head out with a really good proposition, like act now, save 10%, whatever that hook's going to be.
Yeah, and you have to make it personal. We're human beings and not human doings. You have to hook. Your hook obviously has to make something that actually hits someone in the heart, hits somebody in the mind, and then convert.
Yeah. So the content we've made, we've seen stuff that really works, and usually whenever it works, it's because it's personal, it's hooking people, it's resonating with a pain point. And whenever you don't kind of think about, well, what's my customer ultimately want from me, not what do I ultimately want from my customer, that's where you're going to start winning and start converting.
Very well put, boys. One here: stop posting content, start building an audience. And this is probably for yourself. You could come in on this one. Content without context is just noise. Here's how to build trust fast.
Yeah, it's one of the things we see all the time, and don't get me wrong. I've personally fell into the same because I feel I have to have a presence, so I post random stuff. The reality is, we are human beings. I've said this already. Is that we have to connect with our target audience, and we have to serve them content that actually resonates. I always say this: create content that creates a conversation.
Yeah, some of the best content that I've made isn't about our business, and it's got like loads of eyeballs on the company. It's got loads of views and loads of engagement. It's not putting any money in the company's accounts because ultimately it doesn't resonate with what your services are. So there's a careful mix, I think, where you have to attract attention and then deliver value and then nurture whatever you've done with that. So there should be 3 parts of your pipeline at all stages. So yes, put out content that gets people's attention, but don't overly do it that everything that you do is random stuff about random things. It has to still come back to your core value of this is what we do as a company.
Yeah, if you're producing rubbish content, be humble enough to go, why is it rubbish? And then move.
Yeah. I've got 2 more for you. One here, do this before spending a penny on ads. And the breakdown is, if your content isn't doing this one thing, ads aren't going to help.
Okay, so if you're just about to drop maybe $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on an ad, and you're thinking this is a really banging piece of content, the first thing that I need to ask you is 1, does it have a good hook? 2, does it have a good value proposition? And are you either entertaining people, educating people, or causing people to think about maybe what your product or your service is? And then the last piece, is it easy for people to make action on who you are and what you offer? Has to be there. If you don't have that, do not spend a penny.
Yeah, and you can start small and grow. But the key thing is you have to measure it and grow. We actually said it the other day with a client who is not spending money on ads was this. I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll tell you how confident we are. We will spend our own cash from our own pocket to say, right, this is how confident this is going to work. But we start small and we grow.
Yeah, because the days of social media being free are gone. I remember back in the 90s when we were designing print flyers and brochures, our clients were spending hundreds and thousands of pounds on these different campaigns. And then all of a sudden the internet came along and people thought, well, this is free. And I just put out whatever I had in a flyer on the online. Thousands of people see it. That happened, but that was Facebook's game plan back in the day before even Instagram was around. They knew that if they get you hooked on this, that you will then basically move your salary and your amount of money and your budgets into Facebook then whenever they came the time to monetize it. So the time has come now and you don't get a free hit anymore. LinkedIn the same. So maybe 5-10 years ago, whenever we were posting on LinkedIn, thousands of impressions, loads of engagement. And now they want you to spend money to boost your content and get out there in front of people. So there's no free hits anymore when it comes to social media. These guys are looking to monetize. And if you want to get ahead, you have to spend to get ahead.
Do not look at your ad spend as an expense. It's an investment.
Yeah,
if you've got an expense, a mindset, you're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah,
it's an investment, but grow.
Very well put. I've one more for you. It says, the real reason people aren't clicking on your ads, clicks don't mean conversions. You're clearly missing something.
Yeah, so whenever someone isn't clicking on your ad, the biggest reason that they're not clicking or taking action is you're not telling them what to do. You're actually saying, here's all my options of what I do, how good we are, how great the product is, or you're hooking them with a really good resonating piece, but you're not telling them then how they can go and take action on your business. And so many people do that. They just hope that people will understand, but people need to be led.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it any better. They need to be wooed and taken on a story, and your ads will do that if you have, you've said already, the right hook. Take them on a journey and let them the buy button.
That's it.
Brilliant, boys. Absolutely brilliant. Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, so that's been the Business Hustle in Belfast City Centre. If you want to come on and be part of this and ask us questions live or get involved with something to do that's tangible with growing your business, marketing your company, cue the funky music. Thank you for watching. I'm Chris.
I'm Henry.
And we'll catch you again on the next Business Hustle. Goodbye.
Yeah.